What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video today, and in this video we'll be taking another look at my collection. Today we'll be looking at my fleet of Boeing 727 aircraft. Arguably one of my favorite retro types. In fact, all of them are up there as favorites, but number one would have to be the DC-9. However, the 727 is a very close second in that regard, and I have 11 of them in my collection. 9 of them are of the more familiar 727-200, and I only have 2 of the shorter and stubbier 727-100s. I don't really have them sorted in any particular order. I just grab them in a random order off of my cabinets and have them on display on one of my dioramas that's currently dormant for the time being. So we'll go ahead and get started here with this brand of 727-200 by JetX, a very old school release, and I've had this for a couple years now. Nice little Flying Colors blue livery, the livery that Braniff had back in the 70s after the original Jelly Bean era, the end of the plain plane. So Flying Colors is their follow-up to that, and still kept all the colors in the sky. Very much beautiful. One of my favorites personally would be that Jelly Bean, of course. Hopefully I can add one of those in my collection at some point, but they're hard to find. This one was a rarity for quite some time because Aero Classics was really the only one that did this particular 722, but this is the Southwest variant by Gemini Jets, and this is released in late 2023. Aero Classics did one like 10-15 years ago now, and that example was really hard to find. The color received some criticism for it. The Gemini is better, but still not 100% accurate, but either way, this is a lovely little model. Moving along, we have one of 2 727-100s that I have. This is the Alaska Prospector tail, released by Gemini Jets, and was my first 727 when I acquired this back in 2018. I did do a retro review on this, and I've actually done retro reviews on several of these 727s. I'll try to point out which ones I have done episodes on. I have done one on the Southwest right over there. This one I have not done a retro review on, but this is for my retro FSD project. United 727-100 Saul Bass livery, released by Aero Classics in 2023. I remember when they announced this, because it was right before that year's Airliners International Convention in Dallas. So I picked it up there for the project. And then this right here is a Kalitta Charters 2 727-200 freighter. My only 727 freighter that I have, and one of only 2 Kalitta Charters aircraft that I have, as I have their 737-400 that Gemini Jets also did. This type, unfortunately, has been retired by this operator, so not going to be able to spot them anymore. And they did have a couple with winglets, too, which Gemini does not have a mold of, as far as I'm aware. And then we have a Western example, one of the many white whales for the Retro FSD project. I also picked this up at Airliners International in Dallas, alongside the United 721 right there. This was released in 2005, I think, by Gemini. And yeah, very hard to find for a while, but thankfully there's a really awesome table where they had a bunch of discounted old Gemini Jets releases for, you know, all kinds of good prices. This I picked up at my first Airliners show in Chicago in 2022, this Eastern 727-200 with the Whisperjet titles on the engine there. And this is one of many Eastern aircraft I picked up at that convention, so really grew my Eastern fleet by more than 3 sizes that day. And then we have this Delta Bicentennial widget by Gemini Jets. This I picked up at the most recent Airliners convention in Kansas City. Very lovely model, and hopefully I'll find a regular widget. But either way, this Bicentennial is nice, as you can see the Bicentennial logo present on the tail. And the registration, November 458 Delta Alpha. And this is like a really old release from like 2001 or something like that, if I remember right. There's also a very old Gemini release, this National 727 with the Sun King livery. The aircraft's name is, if I remember right, I think it's Elaine or something like that. You kind of see it there. Yeah, I think it's Elaine. And they used to name all their aircraft after their flight attendants, but that ended in a bit of a controversy there, so they stopped doing that. But they did put the airline titles on the engine there. Either way, really nice livery from the 70s before they were bought out by Pan Am so that they could increase their domestic offerings. And this 727, if I remember right, this one was one of many, yes it was, that did go to Pan Am, operated them for many years after. Then we have this United Battleship Gray 727-200, also picked up at the first airliner show I attended in Chicago, alongside the Eastern White Top Whisperjet example. This is another retro FSD model, and I have used it in several retro FSD updates over the years. And then next to that, my final 727, this is the Northwest Bowling Shoe example, which Connor helped find for me at a collectible show. I think he got this at a Dallas One Day show, if I remember right, in 2023, since he got it for me right before the Dallas show, the Dallas Airliners International show that year. But I have not yet used this in a retro FSD update, admittedly, but we'll have to change that at some point down the line. Just waiting for the next big acquisition to come in for the project so that we can do another update. But at any rate, there is my 727 collection with a total of 11 and a good representation of manufacturers with JetX, Gemini jets, predominantly Gemini jets, which I'm a bit surprised by. I don't have any Aero Classics 722s just yet. And the only Aero Classics one is the United Sawbass example right there. But otherwise, everything else it's dominated by Gemini jets, which I'm quite amazed by, so either way, hoping to expand my 727 fleet some more as we move down the line. I'd love to add an American Chrome example, possibly add another Delta example with the Ron Allen and Delta Flot liveries, so if I can find the old Gemini releases, or if they want to do another one, that would be fantastic. They've been kind of on a craze with the old Delta liveries recently, so maybe they could hit up those planes and re-release them, but we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on that. And then any other subjects that just seem interesting to me, we'll pick those up as we move down the line. With that being said, that is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.